Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Monday, April the 2nd, 2012. We're going to look at a few charts today, a couple of opportunities that I see out there and some other situations that I want you to be aware of. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you guys for all your support on this free website at PerfectStockAlert.com. I'm getting lots of feedback, people saying thank you very much, etc., and we appreciate that. We're also getting lots of people telling us that they were referred by their friends and different websites and things like that. So I want to thank you guys for that support. We can do this all day long, but we're not going to go anywhere unless our users support the website. That's just the main thing. And it's a free service, but if they're not out there sharing our videos, then we don't grow. And we've been growing, so I just want to say thank you guys very much for that, okay? I try to remember to do that once a week at least. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I'm always appreciative, okay? Alright, so let's get started. Looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, our short trade here has been stopped out. Remember, we were talking about this last Friday. It is an attempt to call a top, and those are not often great ideas because you're trying to call the exact peak and you don't always pull it off just right. So anyway, that was the situation we had there. We got stopped out of that. However, just because we got stopped out when we were breaking up to new highs and so forth and so on, I'm still not a buyer here. For the same reasons I talked about last Friday, I'm just not going to be a buyer of this particular market. Another thing I want to bring to your attention, even though we are seeing a nice move here to the upside and everything, I'm happy for everybody who's making money on this on the long side. I just want to bring your attention to the volume. Just continues to drop off here. This is something that really should concern you from a longer term perspective. Is this move to the upside really going to be sustainable? And that's the big question. And based on the fact that as of right now we're looking at 8 consecutive weeks to the upside in the NASDAQ, and we haven't seen that since the flash crash, my answer to that question is no, it's not a sustainable rally. So advance your stop along the way if you are long. Okay, here we are looking at the NASDAQ. This one, again, is another situation we're trying to call a top here. We've not been stopped out just yet. Our stop is right here. We may get stopped out tomorrow on this, and again, I would not be a buyer. I do recognize, like I pointed out Friday, you have this hammer candlestick formation. You could still call this low point here, still in an uptrend, high point, still in an uptrend. So you could have been a buyer here, and your stop would have been set off that low here. You want to advance that stop now. Now that you've seen it a day to the upside, take this stop loss limit and advance it up to the low of today, and just keep doing that until eventually you will be stopped out. The main thing here is the longer term chart. Let me take one more moment to go back there and show it to you guys again. You know what? Being that I've already gone over that on Friday, did a really good job on that. Go ahead and check out Friday's video if you want to get the longer term picture and all the issues I see with the NASDAQ right now. Like I said, 8 consecutive weeks to the upside, and that's overextended. That's just above average conditions for a market like that. So, and again, the last time we've seen that was just before the flash crash. So I'm very cautious this market. When you have that kind of situation with 8 consecutive weeks to the upside, you're looking at a series of consecutive weeks to the downside that is basically due the market in a pullback. So I would be cautious buying this market, and that's why I'm not buying it, even though I could do so now with a stop set off this low. Let me draw it out again. I could set a stop right here off this low point and still be a buyer here. Someone may actually do that and feel confident with the stop set here. I would understand that, but I'm just not going to do it. Where you could play a long trade in this market, if you still believe there's still more room to go to the upside, would be the Russell 2000 Small Cap Index. We talked about this before. There is some resistance levels up there, but they're not. You can still make some money to the upside there. So that's something to bring to your attention, and I wanted to do that today. We can keep a tight stop off of this low here using today's close or lower. Any pullback in here would be a buy opportunity within this range here, and this is our stop. We're looking for a move to go higher with the overall markets here. This would be perfectly fine. We had this move back here, comes at find resistance and sold off, finds it again, sells off, finds it again, sells off lower, comes up, bumps against it, false breakout, pulls back. But you'll notice the pullback is less than it was here. So the pullback now is starting to tighten up again, starting to show they're reforming this consolidation period. Now we break up to the upside, we pull back down, finding the previous resistance now acting as support ultimately, and we'll start to reverse back to the upside. So I could understand a long position here, and I'm actually marked it on the chart as being one that I would take. And I wouldn't trust the NASDAQ being, like we already showed you in the longer term picture there, the RSI is well into overbought condition, but it's not the case with the longer term chart on the Russell. It's not as overbought. So this is one kind of a laggard that you could play to the upside here, okay? Take a moment to look at the oil chart. We talked about this a couple days ago. Well, I actually didn't mark the chart a couple days ago, and then we talked about it on Friday as being a buy opportunity, and she's made a nice move to the upside and 1.3% there. Nice trade here. Advance your stop. The stop was down here off the low. Advance the stop so there's no risk to the low of today's candlestick formation. Now there's no risk on the trade. You can even advance it further than that if you'd like, to lock in a minimum gain. The main thing here is that you're going to be looking at this previous high point here. This is the resistance line to note. If you can break out above that, a close above this here would be that much more confirmation that we may actually have found a bottom in oil and then be reversing back to the upside. Otherwise, this may just be a really strong bounce before we pull back down and start forming support or something like that. So definitely want to advance your stop because you don't know which way she's going to ultimately go. But keep an eye on that resistance. If you break above that resistance, you may actually have a real bottom in play. And then any pullback there, we'd be looking for another buy opportunity, okay? As always, I'd like to remind you that all of our charts are kept on our free website at perfectstockalert.com. It's right there. It's 100% free. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Also, those charts are updated every single night. Anytime I advance a stop loss or I see another opportunity in some other chart, maybe even one that I don't cover in a video, they will be kept on the chart on the website there for you guys to review and get all my different chart notes updated every single night. All right. God bless. Take care. Enjoy the evening, and I will see you all tomorrow. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.